Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Alright, we have a really fun episode today. We're going to be reviewing the last issue for the Dark Web event, Dark Web Finale issue number 1. There's not going to be an issue number 2, so could basically just call it Dark Web Finale. It was a little bit thicker, I want to say, than a normal comic. And yeah, I guess before we get dived into my thoughts and everything like that, as always, I want to let you know quickly about the 600 subscriber giveaway. We'll be giving this book away when we hit 600 subscribers. It's a Marvel #1 variant. All you have to do is like the video, comment down below, and be subscribed to the channel. That'll give you a chance to win. And when we hit 600, we'll be raffling the book off based on comments on the road to 600. Now, actually, let's take a little time to check this cover out. It is an awesome cover. We've got Peter Parker down here, and juxtaposed to that, an upside down Ben Reilly, obviously, Spider-Man and Chasm, and super cool cover. I want to say it's probably a Adam Kubert cover, I believe. Can find out here in a second. As always, we're going to be going heavy into spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled for Dark Web Finale #1, that is your warning. Next up, we always shout out the creative team, because without the creative team, we wouldn't have a comic book, right, guys? So in this issue, we have Zeb Wells as the writer. The artists are Adam Kubert, Francesco Mortarino with Scott Hanna, and colors by Frank Martin and Guru EFX. Letters by Joe Caramagna, and the cover is Adam Kubert and Frank Martin. Alright guys, now we get started with this final issue here, and we are in Limbo, and basically Ben is talking with Janine, who is Chasm and Hollow's Eve, right? They're talking about how, that they've basically, they think they've won, and they're they're like, hey, we've given each other the gift of New York City, and let's give them a parade as they check this super awesome spread here out of what their setup in New York City looks like, with all the demons having taken over, and it's just an amazing intricate art there of this castle. And remember that castle, guys, because that's gonna play a role here too coming up. Now, as we start, we go back to the heroes, right? And the heroes are forming up together, all the different good guys that are gonna basically be on this team. And they have a little bit of a chat with Madeline Pryor, who Spider-Man's like, are you really on our side this time? And she's able to convince them that she is on their side. We also do get some side characters and what happens with them. So J. Jonah Jameson and Robbie Robertson, they're like, we're going home. You know what I'm saying? We're not superheroes. We're not gonna go fight these guys with you. So we're going home. And they're like, good, go home, be safe. And so yeah, we go back to Chasm and Hollow's Eve, who are basically just they're winning, they're taking over the city, right? And he's like, move on, march on the city, take it over, it's ours. There's a kind of a panel there of what's going on in the city. And then, as they're kind of approaching maybe Times Square or something like that, right? We see a group of X-Men standing there with Cyclops. We got Jean Grey, we got Magic, we got Sync, Iceman, Firestar, and Forge. So there's a bunch of X-Men show up, and Chasm sends the Insidious Six, if you remember who those guys are after him. I'm showing off a lot of panels here, but it is kind of a bigger story, helps to explain what's going on there. So as you can see, the X-Men show up, and he sends, down there on the bottom of the page, he sends the Insidious Six in. And at that point, Madeline Pryor, you know, is kind of shown up on the scene as well with Bedlam. And Chasm says, you know, focus all the forces of demons against Madeline Pryor. Basically, like, he knows he has to take her out to be able to keep controlling the demons of Limbo, right? Now, unfortunately for him, that doesn't go well, because Bedlam, Eddie Brock, is just wailing through people. She's like, this is my friend Eddie Brock. And, you know, I took away his memories, and he's, yada yada. Basically, he's my puppet, and she sends Eddie Brock in to start wailing on these guys. And then we also get, this is really cool, I thought, we also get some more reveals about the different types of masks that Hallows' Eve has. You guys will have to buy the issue. I can't show every panel. You know, say if this sounds fun, hit up your local comic shop. But she puts on a werewolf mask, and she turns into a werewolf, and she starts fighting Spider-Man and Wreck-Rap, who Wreck-Rap's like the demon that adores and idolizes Spider-Man, and has been given a small piece of the Eddie Brock symbiote, right? That Eddie Brock gifted to a demon in Limbo in like Venom 12 or something last year. If you're reading all these, a lot of it actually like links together. It's really cool. Anyways, so we have some scenes here with Magic and the X-Men and Forge and Sync, and they're all fighting and kind of bantering with each other, almost as though Zeb Wells has been reading the Duggan's run on X-Men, which is interesting, because there's some interesting, you know, they're in character, they're very in character, and just the fight progresses there. We do get this funny kind of joke here that I like, because the setup here is that Madeline Pryor, if you don't know, Madeline Pryor and Havoc have had a long-term off and on relationship that's kind of in an off point right now. But they still, you know what I'm saying, they like each other, and there's this antagonistic, will they get back together kind of, there's tension between the two, you know what I'm saying? And not in a bad way, in a good way. So he comes in, he's like, Maddie, is this guy bothering you? Kind of talking about Bedlam, who's basically protecting her and killing all these demons. And Bedlam just laughs. He's like, ha 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 ha. And Maddie says, don't laugh at him, he tries. And, you know, Bedlam's like, that's not what I'm laughing at, look. And we get the reveal that what Bedlam's actually laughing at is, as Chasm kind of commanded earlier, he wanted all the demon armies of Limbo to march on Madeline Pryor. So that's kind of what we see. And we do get this really cool full page, I don't know, it's not a full page splash page, but it's like just laid out well, where you have to read, you know what I'm saying, the whole centerfold together. And you could see like all the armies are there, right? And there was a shot too, if you saw, of her in her wolf form, of Hallows' Eve in her wolf form. Or she decides, because she's fighting Wreck-Rap, that's not strong enough, so she pulls off the wolf mask, and she puts on the Frankenstein mask to fight him, right? And so she ends up having Wreck-Rap while she's in Frankenstein form. She's, as you can see here, she's got Wreck-Rap all in a back hold, basically, while at the same time Spider-Man is just getting he's getting really beat up by Chasm, and he's kind of regretting his decision to, he kind of had split the forces and said, you guys take out the demons, I got Chasm. And now he's kind of regretting that because Chasm's more powerful than him. It's basically his clone who now has this super powerful staff, right? And so he's losing, but who shows up is Gold Goblin and Mrs. Marvel. And Chasm makes a joke about how, it's two people that he's already beat and he's not scared, and he was half expecting it to be the Avengers. And so then Hollow's Eve gets another face change, and we don't quite see that on panel, but we go back to Madeline Pryor, who is fighting the armies of Limbo, right? All the armies of Limbo, basically. And yeah, check that out. And basically what happens there is that she wins, and she's like, as you saw, I showed you, she's like, that's enough of that. All the demon armies of Limbo bow to her as the new Goblin Queen, as Goblin Queen again. And she's kind of like, see, you don't need the staff to be the Goblin Queen. It's something else, right? The staff's still powerful, but she doesn't need it to rule Limbo. And so all the armies basically switch back to her side. So now Ben isn't in control of his of the armies of Limbo with this staff, though it does have him pretty powered up, right? And so we get this heartbreaking scene here, where Hollow's Eve comes up to Ben, and Ben's laying and just about defeated. And Ben says, looks like I really pissed them off this time, Janine. They're throwing everything they got. She says, then we throw it back. Get up. And Ben says, I never wanted you to. I was supposed to protect you. Janine, we're not gonna win this one. And she replies, I don't care. I'll never leave you, Ben. And he says, I know. I'm sorry, Janine. And she says, Ben, no. Don't do this, don't. As he portals her away and says, safe travels. And says, okay then, where were we? As demon armies ascend upon him. And he says, you think you can hurt me? You think I don't know pain? I was born in a briar patch. Go away, all of you. As Madeline Pryor comes in, says, that's enough of that. I see you, Ben Reilly. I see your pain, and I see you have to be stopped. As she wrests the staff from his grip. And she says, there, that's better. As Spider-Man comes in, and Peter says, I'm sorry, Ben. You left us no choice. And Cyclops says, we're taking you into custody. Madeline Pryor says, no, I don't think you are. And basically she ends up saying that Ben Reilly's a citizen of Limbo, and she's harboring him. She's going to put him in her prison, and she thinks that everyone can be redeemed, that everyone has a chance at redemption, and she wants to help Ben, basically. And then we get this scene of Ben in his new prison inside of Limbo, and Peter says, you're not even gonna look at me? I've been running myself ragged cleaning up your mess. I still haven't found Janine or my demonic superfan. But I still want to know you're okay. Ben says, oh, and you had to come so far to do it. Bravo, real Spider-Man. Bravo. Peter replies, I want to help you. Even if they got you trapped in this place, but give me something. Let me know there's still some Ben Riley in there. Ben just stares in silence, puts on the chasm mask, and Peter has to leave. As the demon tells him it's time to go. Visitation time is up. And we kind of do get this scene here too. It's interesting for the, like I said, spoilers throughout. We get this scene here at the end, kind of interesting for possible future implications, where the tower that Ben erected in New York is actually left standing, and Madeline Pryor is somehow able to apply for embassyship or like as an actual government, like the government of Limbo, if you will. And so we leave off with the reveal that there's now a Limbo, you know what I'm saying, a Limbo embassy in New York City. Super interesting. My thoughts on the issue is I thought they wrapped it up pretty well. I don't know if I could have asked for too much more, actually. I think, you know, there's two ways they could have gone. Full redemption of Ben Riley, and us seeing how that would if that played out. But I'm not mad at this ending here that leaves open the possibility for another writer down the road to pick back up with Ben Riley what happened in Limbo during his sentence. Was he redeemable? Does he or as seemed at the one little bit that we got there, that he didn't really want to talk to Peter. He was still very upset, still very mad. Does he stay mad and somehow escape? There's, you know what I'm saying? So I'm liking how they ended this. There was also, some real heartfelt stuff there between Ben Riley and Janine, and his decision, in my opinion, to send Janine away when it was obvious that he was going to lose and might possibly die, right? Is almost heroic and something that Peter would do. And deep down, Ben Riley is a clone of Peter. Therefore, he still has good within him, and he showed it to me in that moment, that he still felt something for Janine, for Hallows Eve, and as the love of his life, right? And he didn't want to see any harm come to her. And so he sent her, who knows where, but somewhere safe, right? He sent her somewhere safe. And that gives me hope that at some point there can be redemption for the character, or at the very least that he's not a complete psychopath. He does have some heart, and maybe we can get a future storyline where he's still kind of on this mission to reclaim his memories. And Peter has to come to grips with the fact that he needs to somehow find a way to share these memories with Ben, because although Ben is a different person, what the Beyond Corporation did to him is unforgivable, and Peter, I know Peter has it within his heart to forgive Ben for everything that he's done wrong, knowing that a lot of this was caused by what the Beyond Corporation had done, and if there's any way to undo what's the damage that's been done to his brain by giving him back these memories, As you know, as we saw in this saga earlier, where Jean Grey gave her, because she has the ability to give her memories back, right? She's a telepath. Jean Grey gave Madeline Pryor's the memories that she so dearly wanted. And obviously, in Peter Parker's case, he's not a telepath, so he can't just grant them to him like that. But I'm sure there's got to be some way. He's a scientist, and I feel like that's maybe part of the future, because I don't even think Peter knows how all this happened. And maybe once it's over, he will start to try to investigate the pieces of why Ben went down this path, and then that will reveal to him what Beyond Corporation did. And hopefully he, you know, that's my hope. Like I said in the whole start of this, I was super into this because I thought I'm a big Ben Reilly fan. I really thought the costume was cool, honestly. And you know, I'd kind of like to see Ben get a little bit bigger spotlight cast on himself. I feel like he would go a lot farther, or he could actually be a character that could maybe have his own title if he wasn't named Spider-Man, right? But he has a cool, yeah, just so, and because hey guys, you know this, there's probably some of you watching right here, there's a lot of Ben Reilly fans out there. Not saying I like him more than Peter Parker. I know some people that do. I particularly don't, but I really do like the character, and so yeah, whether he stays as a bad guy or moves to the good side, either way, as long as we have him involved, I think that's a good thing for Spider-Man comics. That's what I have today, guys. As you can see, I super enjoyed this, and I got a lot of ideas about where they're gonna go in the future with it. I don't really know, as always. We'll just have to find out. We're all along for the ride together. If you guys watched this far into the video and you do enjoy this kind of content, hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Helps the YouTube algorithm so more people can find my Fun Times channel about comic books. Alright guys, we'll see you next time, and have a great day.